you know, the money is always, to me, I just believe the money is just always going to be there.
Right.
My name is Shad Harrison. I've always loved hearing the stories of how creatives and entrepreneurs got started in their careers. So now, it's my time to tell those stories. This is Interviews with the Rebel.
What's going on, people? This is Shad Harris of the Rebel Society, and today we're doing another conversation, a Interviews with the Rebel series, and today we have Shanita Robinson of Humble Hair.
Yes.
How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing well.
You doing
Thank
good?
you. Yes.
Okay, cool. So, a little bit into our backstory is, I met Shanita probably about a year ago.
Yeah.
And she was at another salon. She was getting ready to move to the salon that she is in now. And then, you know, at that time she wanted to do a commercial, which I can say you flaked on me because I had a great idea for a video.
It was a lot, and my time is this big, so.
I guess so.
But it's still a good idea.
It was a great idea.
And
I was excited. I wrote out a treatment. I was like, yo, we're going to kill it.
Now that I have more help, maybe we can push that
Yeah, we
into
might have to do that.
fruition, you know.
Yeah, we might have to do that. But the one thing that I always like peeped out about her business was that she was like, I can say other people are not super professional, but Shanita was like super professional. Like, yeah, like you was completely like on your shit.
I tried.
Yeah. So I really found that to be very remarkable for, you know, a hairstylist. So now, you know, she's actually been in her salon for going on a year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And, you know, I've seen, I don't know if your clientele growing, but I just hear your name come up a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So kind of just want to talk about that, kind of talk about, you know, how you got started, you know, all that good stuff. So,
okay.
So I guess first question is, a little bit of icebreaker question is, who is a music artist that you relate to the most? Like, who do you feel?
Who do I relate to the most?
Yes.
That's kind of like not an easy question because I have a lot of people in here. So some days it's like, you know, my Erykah Badu, my Jill Scotts and all of that. And then some days I'm like Jay-Z mode.
Okay.
And then other days I'm just like, wow. Like I don't know.
Wow.
I don't even know who wow is. But, you know, some days I'm, you know, trap.
Okay.
Some days I'm on it. And then other
So
days
if you had to break it down into maybe 2 to 3 people, like that you feel like every time they put out a song, like that speaks to me.
Solange.
Really?
Like 100%. Like I think you know what? She has all of it. Really.
I can see that.
She has all of it because she don't care. Like, but she's just herself.
She's definitely that.
She's just herself, and she has that mellow, you know. But then she also turn up when she want to turn up when it's necessary.
Okay.
So Solange, that's my person.
And now that you said that, I can kind of I can see it.
That's my person. I'm sticking to her.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, cool. All right, so first official question is, Shanita, how do you make your money?
How do I make my money? I make most of my money behind the chair.
Okay.
Now, that is something that I'm looking to change, but most of my money comes from behind the chair.
Okay.
So I have a consistent clientele. I've been seeing most of these ladies for about 4 or 5 years consistently.
Right.
So, and at this point, you know, I just feel like having my books open to the public just to freely book gets in their way. So I take care of them first.
Okay.
And then whenever I have an opening.
Okay.
You know, it's whoever.
All right, cool. So, matter of fact, these questions are going to be all over the place as stuff comes up.
Okay.
But how do you, so you just said that, you know, you kind of cater towards your clientele first and then everybody else secondary.
Yeah.
A lot of people feel like, you know, you should try to make all the money, you know, that anybody hits you up, you need to kind of slide them in there. What are your thoughts on that? Because it seems like if you focus on your clientele, then.
The thing is, you have to take care of home. That's like a principle you can apply to different areas of your life.
Yeah.
So I take care of the people who have sustained me over the years. You know, entrepreneurship, doing hair was not even my plan, graduating high school.
You used to be like a social worker, right?
Yeah, I used to be a social worker and a counselor for like 6 years.
Oh, okay.
And so when my schedule no longer worked in that field, I started doing hair 2 days a week. and it surpassed my salary. Like, I mean, it was crazy. So, you know, it only made sense to start following my passion.
Right.
Now, when I first got out there, the door was revolving. You know, I had clients on clients, I had assistants, so it's like, I just can't do all of that no more. I can't keep up with everybody in the city. Like, it's just too much.
Okay.
So I focus on the ladies who are committed,
Mm-hmm.
that's not going to have me out there looking crazy, you know
Right,
what I'm saying?
right.
That are, you know, average women.
Okay.
That, you know, consistent, stable.
So do you feel like that has helped with, you know, growing your business, or like, because most people say like you need to, like you said, get everybody to come
to keep your name.
Yeah.
I think that's just a false, like, I think it's a misconception that you have to take whoever, whenever they call, all the money. Because me, I can only operate at my best if I have a certain amount of sleep, if I have a certain amount of me time. You know, I still have to take care of me before, you know, the money is always to me. I just believe the money is just always going to be there for me. So as long as I keep doing my best, presenting my work when I can, because, you know, I don't post as much as I should, you know, like, God will always provide.
Okay.
So that's just how I feel.
Okay. And you just spoke about something that I've actually been trying to work out myself in my business in the past couple of months. Last year, I was actually about to do a business partnership with a guy, and it didn't work out. But one thing that he said to me that really stood out was, I was really just saying, I was the person that was like, yo, we're trying to get all the money that comes in.
Yeah.
But he's like, so you got a survival mindset instead of a thriving mindset.
Correct. I agree with that.
So, like, what are your thoughts on, like, just that?
Because it's like, you can't be your highest self providing 100% of the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're going to burn out. And for me, self-care is like one of the biggest things I implement into my business. My schedule doesn't work for a lot of people. The days that I actually work, I'm a Tuesday through Friday stylist. I have been for the past 3-4 years. Okay. So it's like, I take care of Shanita first, because without me, I can't do none of this. Right. I can't keep it organized. I can't, you know, have all my inventory, and I just I can't be organized. Okay. And for me to be this organized in my business is like, you know, it's essential. Right. Okay. Things don't work if I'm tired. It really doesn't. Like, my attitude is not. Really? I'm Solange in the elevator when it's not. Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I've seen all those photos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
All right, so just taking it back a little bit. So, how did you actually get started?
Well, if we want to go back to when I first got my license, it'll be quick. Okay. Kind-of-ish. All right, cool. So, graduated from high school 2001. I had taken...
What high school you went to?
Well, I went to Oscar Smith 9th and 10th, and then I graduated Deep Creek because I did 11th and 12th in Deep Creek.
Oh,
so I graduated from Deep Creek, which, nothing bad against Deep Creek. Anyway, so I did VOTEC in high school, 11th and 12th grade. So when I graduated, I got my license right out of high school. And I did hair and cuttery while I went to Norfolk State. Okay. And that's when I did my social work and counseling degrees. So I guess I worked in the field, like I said, about 6 years.
You said you was up in Richmond, right?
I did Richmond the last 2 years. Well, something like that. But not the whole time. I worked in Portsmouth for the most part. But like the last, and I did hair on the side the whole time.
Like out of your house?
Out of my house, at the hair cuttery. It kind of just depends where I was and what I was doing at the time. But I never wanted hair to be like the main thing.
Why not?
I just felt like I needed my paychecks to be, you know, a certain amount. I needed to know how much I was going to be getting. And that was just like a lack of faith. Right. You know what I'm saying? Or lack of belief in what my gifts and skills were, or understanding. So I would say it was about 2019 now. So 2014, 2013, I got into a job that paid the highest in the social work field that I had ever experienced. Right. So we're talking like 55 for a social worker. And that's a lot. Yeah. Okay, like that's a lot for a social worker. So I hated my schedule. My
What was your schedule?
week, okay, so My work days were 12:30 to 9.
Okay.
Off days were Wednesday and Saturday. I didn't even have 2 consecutive days off, which drove me insane.
Yeah.
And I worked in a cubicle about this big, answering the phone all day. So yeah.
I've been there before.
Yeah. So I started doing hair on Wednesdays and Saturdays. And did that for about 10 months, and my money was like way more doing hair just for the 2 days than from, this cubicle job.
Right.
So I'm like, well, I've done this enough. I can just pretty much leave. And then that's how Humble Hair pretty much came to be.
Okay. So what were those first early years of Humble Hair? What did that look like as far as like, what were you doing?
What was I doing? So at that time, around 2014, is when this application for stylists to book online, well, for clients to book with stylists online, that's when I learned of Stylist. And so I was posting my pictures. People already knew I did hair. And that's kind of also when Instagram was first starting out, so it wasn't so saturated with hair like it is now. So I started posting pictures. Actually, I started as the traveling stylist. Before I was Humble Hair. I forgot about her.
The traveling stylist?
Yes.
So that was like your nickname?
That was my Instagram name. My Instagram was the traveling stylist because I wasn't connected to a salon. I would just go to your house at that point.
Oh, okay.
So I was traveling stylist. So then... How
was that experience?
Well, at first it started in my house and my stuff started getting missing. So then I started going to other people's houses, but then that got worse because people had to cook and clean and take care of the kids, and I'm like, no, this time is for us. So that didn't last that long. So then I went into a salon. But so what was I talking about? Traveling? No. The beginning of Humble Hair. So it was more so like how you say people, I need to get the word out and people need to come. I was taking whoever, whenever, because at that point, let me back up just a little bit. When I quit my job and had that first week or two at, just being at a salon full time, my traveling stylist page was like hacked. And so that was how I was getting all of my hair traffic. So now I'm devastated. So I'm like, how am I going to make my money? I just quit my job and nobody knows me.
You said it was hacked?
It was like, because it was connected to some spam account or something. It was something that I actually had connected it to provide a service for my Instagram, and then it deleted it. Like, it was weird.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So it was kind of rough, those first couple of months of entrepreneurship, because I'm like worried, stressed out. Nobody's going to find me again. They don't know this new name, Humble Hair, because back then, if you lost your account, you couldn't put the same name. So I had to just choose another name, and this was what I had to go with. But eventually, I say within a couple of months.
You'll able to get it back?
Yeah. That was scary, though. But yeah, I was taking everybody. I was... and then I had to get an assistant, somebody to braid for me. It was like an in and out type of situation. Okay.
So like those first, couple of months or even the first year, like what were you doing to kind of get your name out there? Like marketing wise?
Honestly, just on Instagram.
Really?
Just Instagram. Because I really wasn't on Facebook like that. And I'm still not on Facebook. I would like to be, but it's confusing. But I don't know if it's just my 36-year-old brain, but it ain't. Facebook what it looked like back in 2013. It don't look like that today, and I did that.
It just looked different like 2 weeks ago.
See, I can't keep up, but I'm gonna get me somebody to do Facebook. I just can't do it.
Yeah, you need to do that. I might be able to help you out with that.
Please.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's you asked me like what were you asking me?
What were you doing marketing? You said
just Instagram.
Okay. So were you doing like, any hair shows or anything like that? Or?
I did participate in a few because I don't really do show hair. But do you remember the arts when they had
at the museums and stuff like that?
They did I did the first 2 years of the arts.
Okay.
And that was good exposure too.
Okay.
I had also worked on like a couple of music videos and did some stuff in LA, like with Fashion Week in New York and stuff like that. So I was a lot more on the ground, like catching every opportunity that I could catch back then. Until I realized I really don't want to be a celebrity stylist.
Okay.
I really don't.
But isn't that, it seems like everybody that gets or becomes a hairstylist,
that's their
ambition to be like a celebrity stylist.
Until you know what's involved, that's like really a struggle life if you don't have the right connections. Because a lot of people in the celebrity world, and these days, let's keep it real, it's like reality stars. All they want to do is shout you out. And I'm going to need some money. You know what I'm saying?
So with that, you don't get paid?
Not a lot of times they don't want to pay you. They feel like posting your name or tagging you is like enough and that'll bring you more business, but that's not the goal. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still gotta live. Right. That's another reason why I stick to the people that,
And are they usually like pleasant people?
It depends. I've met some really pleasant people in the entertainment field. So I mean, it just depends. Honestly, what happened that day.
Okay. All right, so one of the things that you mentioned before is something that I really admire about you is that, and you talked about it a little bit already, is you only take it back. You go on a lot of vacations.
I do go on a lot of vacations.
So like when I first met you, I remember like, coming into the salon, I was talking to you, and you was like, maybe we could do something this week. Otherwise, I'm gone for like another month or so.
Yeah.
So like, and I'm actually getting to the point in my life and career where I'm trying to actually, not work as much. So right now, I pretty much work 7 days a week, like all day, every day.
Yeah.
So when did you know, like, hey, I need to kind of, map this time out for myself? Because even you say you don't work Saturdays, but I know a lot of stylists that work Saturdays.
Correct. With me, as far as the traveling, it really picked up like around 2017. I started doing some group travel, like just meeting random people and doing travel that way, and then taking some trips by myself. So after that, it's just, as far as providing for that type of lifestyle, I still work like at least 40, 50 hours a week because Tuesday through Friday, I'm here pretty much all day. And so people, they'll wonder why I'm not responding to an email. It's like, well, I'm at work.
Right.
The time that I'm here, it's like no lunch break. And this is not like, I don't promote this type of, because I've been running on this for like 5 years.
Yeah.
But like, I barely like stop to eat or do any of those things. It's pretty much just straight work. So I still work hard. I just don't stretch it out over the course of 6-7 days.
Okay.
But as far as like when I take a month, normally it's about 3 weeks, and it's in June, the month of my birthday. So I'll normally do a trip for myself, by myself, and then I'll do something with my friends.
Okay.
This year was different because I did a trip with my mom, then I did a trip with my cousin and my brother.
Oh, okay.
So.
But when did you know, like, you know what, I need to start like valuing travel?
I think 2017. I started traveling before. I've been traveling for a while, but just like other like countries outside of the Caribbean. Like 2017 was my year to see.
Y'all gotta stop going to Jamaica and the Bahamas.
That was not a shot. The Jamaica and Bahamas are like still bomb. Okay, now just haven't seen it in a while.
Y'all gotta expand your surroundings.
Yeah, it's such a huge world. It's so huge, but it's small at the same time. But there are so many places to see. So when you see other cultures and you see other black faces and you see other people traveling, it's like, because like people in Europe, they have filled up their passports twice over. You know what I'm saying? Because it is a lot cheaper over there to get around. But it's like, I want to see all of that stuff too.
Okay.
So I got to make a way for it.
So I've had a beard for years, but I never used any type of beard butter or oil on my beard until I came across nostalgia. Now, I can't stop using it.
What has been one thing that you've kind of spent money on that has led to the highest return? A lot of people say you can't, make money unless you spend money. So
that's a fact. Well, what I'm doing right now is finally offering hair extensions at my salon.
okay.
Now
that wasn't something you were doing?
It wasn't, and I'll tell you why. Everybody sells hair.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody sells pretty much the same hair. It's very easy to get. It's nothing wrong with it, but I honestly just wanted to sell something of more quality.
Okay.
And it takes a lot more money to invest in those type of products than say me just putting my name on like a private label.
Okay.
So right now, I've dumped a lot of my investments into a lot of my money into investments of things that I found that are really good.
Okay.
So as far as hair is concerned, so it's coming back pretty nicely.
Really?
Yeah. So, but this is not the first time I've tried it. So because these places in these different countries that have hair, you have to buy so much of it just for a sample. So it's like I have tried and failed.
Spent a lot of money probably.
Right.
Yeah.
So, now that I have a great product, it's like it's coming back now.
Really?
Yes. So I just started selling in June.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say right now what is this, July? Yeah, it's doing pretty good for it to be my second month. Of selling, and I set up the whole thing online by myself. So it's like, yeah. I mean, and then of course the investment in my salon.
Yeah.
I just paid my loan off 1 year. So that was something that was supposed to take a lot longer.
Yeah.
So I definitely.
Would you got a loan to kind of do like repairs?
To renovate.
Okay.
Yeah, because this place looked nothing like it looks right now.
I think you showed me a picture.
It looks
like
nothing like that. So, just putting in, I guess, the work and the time and the money to get this place together, investing in the hair. And then ultimately, I just acquired a new stylist. That's also, and that's something that I never wanted to do before.
Why not?
Because stylists in general, we are just very creative, spur of the moment people. And when we get upset about certain things, we like to pack up and leave in the middle of the night. So I just didn't want that whole revolving door with stylists in and out, especially in such a small space.
Right.
I have to really be, we just got a vibe. So, and then you got to really want it the same.
Okay. So you got somebody that you feel like really...
Absolutely. Her name is Kwanzaa, at Kwanzaa Michelle. On Instagram, 1L. Yes, so she is my first pretty much, what do they call those people? Proteges?
Oh, yeah. You got a young protege.
Yeah. She's pretty much, her story is going to be like mine. Like, she has a full-time job. She's changing her career after years and years in a field that she just, is just a job for her.
Right.
So it's like, I'm helping her. She graduated. She has her license now. So I'm helping her turn that curve the same way I turned it.
How can a stylist actually make money? What are the different ways that stylists make money in this particular industry?
I think...
And what are ways that you would actually suggest for like a new stylist, the kind of thing that they should be doing?
I think what a new stylist should probably do is try to find a mentor.
Okay.
And not necessarily just someone who has a lot of likes, a lot of followers, because a lot of times you hear I hear a lot of things from clients about their experiences with such individuals. Right. So I think the main thing is finding a stylist who has the experience, who has, consistently been in business for a good 10 years, I feel like, because it's just a lot. It's more than just doing the hair.
Right.
And you don't want to be that stylist who looks a certain way on Instagram or Facebook, and then you come and sit in the chair and they have a completely different experience from what they see online. So
matter of fact, not to cut you off, what should somebody look for in a mentor?
I think the main thing is stability. You know, like not, I guess I would say ownership. Someone that's owned their salon or has the same business for a good amount of time.
Right.
That has like a strong team, organizational skills. These are things that you're not necessarily going to know until you just have conversation. I think you need to, I guess, spend a lot of time. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
Because I don't necessarily have a mentor.
Okay.
Because I didn't even know that this was where I was going.
Right.
So I probably need one of those, at some point to take me to.
It seems like you kind of.
I'm good, but I can always be better. We can always learn from someone or something, some experience.
Okay.
But it's hard for me to say.
I
think just stability is one of the main things. And then also just continuously taking your skill to the next level, continuously taking classes with new stylists or any stylist. Because I can say that all of my traveling has put me behind on taking classes.
Right.
But I'm not above learning. So.
Okay. All right. So, matter of fact, the original question I had was like, what are ways that stylists
can make money?
Yeah.
Aside, like, what I do, sell hair. If that is what, you don't have to necessarily sell hair because everyone doesn't do weaves and stuff.
Right.
Offer products. Like, these are not my products. I don't make them. Influence, they're made right here in Norfolk. So it's some things that you can do to increase the revenue for your salon.
Right.
Sell products, participate in different hair shows, or I don't know. You have to really just be consistent.
Yeah.
In your provision of services, because if you're not consistent, people don't rely on you in the long run. And my clients kind of know she gonna be here if she says she gonna be here.
Right.
She's not gonna cancel my appointment at the last minute. Now, will I double book you? It's happened. I'm not perfect, but I really try not to I just try to be here when I say I'm going to be here. And that's
so you don't believe in being late or any of that?
Well, I can work on my 15 minutes. I can work, because sometimes it's like 15 minutes in the morning.
Yeah.
But I can work on that.
Right.
But it's, at this point, they know me, I know them, and I try. I really do.
All right, cool. So, a question that I kind of want to know, like, I'm really big on, like, I feel like every industry has, like, a blueprint. Like, for some reason, at this point in my career now, I can kind of point out, like, if I see somebody doing something successful, I can kind of point out the things that they're doing right that's actually led them to doing such and such. So what do you feel like is the blueprint for a successful hairstylist?
I think writing out your plan when you start, and even if you've already started and things are not going the way that you necessarily like them to go, I think writing out a plan.
Right.
Any good business has plans.
True.
So whether you
gotta know where you're trying to head to.
Absolutely. So I think just writing out, setting goals for yourself, and how to actually get to those goals. It's good to say, I want to make 100K. I want to travel to these places and do hair. That's another thing I used to do, is travel to like DC every month to do hair on the weekends.
Oh, okay.
So it's a lot of things a stylist can do to increase their revenue.
Right.
But it's like, have a plan for yourself.
Okay.
And ways to get to each one. You can set these goals, but if you don't really write out how to get there, you're never gonna really get there.
Okay.
Because you can't stumble upon everything.
True. I feel like that answer was real, like, lofty, like, just in the air.
Because
I feel like you can give me something a little bit more tangible, like, hey, I need you to be super consistent, and then from there, once you're consistent.
Well, yeah, I feel like I'm being repetitive because I just said that. Because you have to be consistent.
Right.
So I'll say, let me just pick out. So I'll say with my scheduling, it's changed over the years.
Right.
But for whatever it is that I do try to do, I try to stick with it for a good amount of time to see if it actually works for the business. So with online booking, I had it for almost a good 4 or 5 years, 4 or 5 years. But as I started to get more interest in my services, like it would just get in the way of the people who, my core people. So I had to limit like who can book. You know what I'm saying? You just have to tweak when things are not working out the way you need them to work out. You have to kind of stop and remap out, because a lot of the times when I decided to close my books online, I have a whole written out thing of why this should work. Like I really try to I just try to weigh out the pros and cons and a way to get to what I need. So as far as booking, when I took myself offline for booking, I had to write out how that was going to work. Okay, I'm gonna book behind the chair. So that means when you sit and get your hair appointment, you can book out. I think initially I had it out for the next 8 weeks, but then I would need to change some stuff because that was too far out for me to book 8 weeks out. So then it was the next 4 weeks. So I just had to, you tweak certain things. And my goal eventually is to service about like 10, 15 clients.
Really?
And then be out. So it's like, but these goals are written down. So it sounds like unattainable. I mean, it sounds fake, maybe. But these things are things that work for me.
Right.
So like I just write everything down.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. So what is Shanita's like ultimate goal in all of this?
I'm glad you asked.
Yeah. That's what I'm here for. Ask a good question.
Yeah. So eventually, what I would like to do with Humble Hair is I want it to be like more of a mentorship program for young stylists coming up.
Okay.
Not young in age, just young in hair.
And experience.
Correct. I really want to train stylists on how to schedule properly, how to service clients professionally, how to just be a consistent stylist, to give them that kind of like, what is it, like a jumping board? What you jump?
Springboard.
Springboard into the industry. So I feel like I can do that because I've pretty much winged it this whole time. Even though I wrote down, a lot of things didn't work, but a lot of things that did work stuck.
Right.
And I feel like me helping Kwanzaa and just watching her, even in her first year, she's like doing like amazing for a first year stylist, because a lot of times you graduate from hair school and it's like nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because you used to get the clients that come to the school, but the school prices are like nothing.
Yeah.
You don't really, you know what I'm saying? So then when you move into a salon where you actually need to make money, it's hard. So I want to provide like a mentorship service, a mentorship type of salon to groom small amount of stylists over a period of time.
So do you want to do that as like a beauty school, or do you want to do almost like an online program?
No, it's an on-the-job
training
in the salon. Yeah. You're here taking clients, not necessarily here because we're gonna outgrow this.
Yeah.
But you're working at my salon your first couple of years, and then my goal is to either have the salons to actually place them into, or get them into like their own type of like suite situation. It just kind of depends. I'm really still up in the air about what I want to do with them once they,
elevate to the next level.
Absolutely, because I want it to just grow. Like then they might be able to help someone.
Right.
I really want it to be kind of like not a pyramid, but upside down pyramid. Because I want all the great stylists to be funneling up to, you know what I'm saying? Right. I just feel like a lot of new stylists are just disencouraged, or am I saying that right? Yeah. Because it is hard. Because everybody does hair now, and Instagram is like so saturated. So if you're someone just starting out and you it's hard. So I feel like Humble Hair is like an example,
Okay.
a brand.
Right.
And if they know that you've been through training and been taught all of these skills, then you good.
Okay.
'Cause, yeah.
All right. So this is probably like my last question.
Okay.
And you just kind of segued into it. Do you feel like doing hair is like a fad now?
For some people, because for me, it's not about the style. It's not about the trends, because I really don't follow a lot of trends.
Right.
So for me, it's about knowing what the actual hair strand does and the health of the hair. So it's passion for me. But for some, yeah. And I mean, you play with it if you want to, you won't last long. Because
I feel like that's the key to like any field, because I feel like anybody, whatever field they feel like gets a lot of attention or people making a lot of money, like, you know what, I need to do that. I can do somebody's hair. I've been doing hair since I was a kid.
Yeah, and I mean, that might be because I've been doing hair since I was a kid. But if you don't take it seriously, it's like, it's not really going to sustain you over the years.
Right.
You might be hot now. You know what I'm saying? You might be good now because you can do certain styles. But then when people hair start falling out, and I'm not saying, you know what I'm saying, that it is, but I'm just saying when something goes wrong and you don't know how to handle it properly, then you now lost a client. And that can continue happening if you don't. I'm all for people who have started out the house. I started out my house. But you just got to keep growing yourself, taking classes, get your license. It's really not that hard. Get your license. If you want to touch someone's head, please get your license. Like, you don't necessarily want to do hair in your house forever. So I just think, your passion, if it's your real, that. But I think if it's really your passion and you are really goal driven, then you would get your license and, do it the right way.
All right, cool. So before we wrap this up, I just want to say thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
Like I said, this whole series is just about, highlighting and having a conversation with the people who are doing great things either online or just in business. And like I said, since I've been following you, it seemed like your name has kind of just been growing. And I just admire just the way you just take time out for yourself. So I feel like that's dope. Self-care, yeah. Self-lovery out here. So before we wrap this up, where is one social media platform if somebody wants to get to know you the most? Where would you kind of tell them to go to?
Instagram. That's pretty much my only. God, dang it! I think I might have got him. No, I didn't. Dang. Yeah. Anyway, Humble Hair on Instagram. HUMBLEHAIR.
All right.
Then there's humblehair.com, but the Instagram profile will lead you wherever you want to go. It's just this and it's just this and my website.
All right, cool. So thank you again, and good day, good evening, good night. Thank you for watching.